Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to Real Talk with Tia and Jill. We're excited you're here. Say hello in the comments and where you're from, where you're joining from. We're excited to have you.
Absolutely, we'd love to know where you're calling in from because we always chuckle. Up here in Minnesota, it's freezing, but in other places, you guys have warm weather.
Yeah, I was traveling to Newark yesterday and it was so cold, even so much colder than Baltimore. The Minneapolis area, I know you guys get really cold and I'm glad we don't have that cold of a weather right now.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Good morning. Good morning, New Zealand. New Zealand is here. Yes, we're so
Good
excited.
morning.
Hi, Utah. Good to see you, Brian, on the call. Super excited to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're super excited to have our second live. If you are joining us for the first time, we're new to this live and we're super excited to be here. And last week was our first recording. And if you have not had a chance to look at it, please go back and take a look at last week's. We really talked about strategy building for your team. So that's a great way to kick off the new year. And this time we're really talking about your passion in food safety and quality and why are we here? Why are we still doing food safety and quality, right? And if you're in food safety and quality and thinking about well, how do I find my passion in it? We're here to give you some pointers. So hello, Brooklyn, New York. Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to put in the comments section where you're from. We love to see the reach, and then also network with one another. Right? That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we love talking about passion because I think if we're in food safety and quality, we often joke like we're not in this for the money. Like we
Right.
love what we do and we love developing programs, we love the people and developing people. But the part that Tia and I really have this magic about is helping create the bigger pictures. Because food safety and quality, we all know, right? We're not just going out and checking product anymore to say, yep, good or bad, but like, how do we create where the food safety quality function is really a trusted business partner? So,
Absolutely.
right, that really pulls into like, how do we take this passion and how do we find it so that we can really do that?
Absolutely. And if you are just saying yes or no, good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
then talk to us because that's not what food safety and quality is designed to do. And join us each week. We'll give you even more tips and pointers on how to change your culture from being that way. So we're super excited. So if you are here for the first time, we're Tia and Jill. We're really your go-to team for food safety and quality leadership in culture. We're passionate about food safety and quality, people development, process development, and like Jill said, really creating that bigger picture to ensure that food safety and quality is a trusted business partner, not just a function.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're talking about passion, and we're going to give you some pointers around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love hearing how people find their way to food. So, Tia, I want you to start because you have a different path than most.
Yes. So I started in engineering. And so I have my degree in chemical engineering from the University of Tennessee. Go Vols, if you're out there. And when I was in school, I did co-ops and interns in the oil and gas industry, in the chemical refinery industry. And I really wasn't passionate about it. And I knew by the time I made it to my junior year that this is not what I want to do. I had a pre-med concentration, so I was thinking about going to medical school. So I was pretty much everywhere until I went to a conference. So as an engineer, I was a part of the National Society of Black Engineers, if you know NSBE, and I met my first employer at their conference, and I fell in love with the people, and therefore I knew I would fit into the culture, and I didn't have to think about if I was going to get along with people or I wasn't going to fit in. These people really made me feel accepted and a part of the culture. And I still talk to them today, right? But I hired into their rotational program and I really got the opportunity to do a lot of different things. But one thing that I love to do as a part of that rotational people rotational program was to lead people. And so I really found my passion in people development, building a strategy around what our goals are and how we're going to get there, inspiring my team to get there and to support a common goal. And I knew that's what I wanted to do, whether it's in the food safety and quality space, in operations space, in the maintenance space, because I've also led maintenance as a part of my career. I knew that strategy building, that inspiring of my team was where my passion lies. But sometimes that's hard, right? Like as you're building your technical skills, like
Yeah.
there's times where you can't always focus on your passion because the business needs something else. Or you have problematic teammates, right? That won't let you inspire them or don't want to be a part of the common goal. Or sometimes your manager, has a different vision than yours and you might not agree 100%. But that just really fueled my passion for strategy development and people development. And I really made sure that each opportunity that I had, that I really learned from it. And then I really structured my days around what am I passionate about and how do I build in those times that I'm developing others, whether or not they're on my team or they're a cross-functional team member.
Yeah, I love that because, so often people would say, right, do what you love. But by the way, remember, you have these pile of things that you're not as good at or your
Right.
weaknesses. Like,
Yes.
how do we work on those? How do we move them? So I
Yes.
love this new perspective that seems to be coming around and have more traction about, yep, acknowledge they're here, fuel your strengths, build on your strengths, because that's what
Absolutely.
also helps align and run into your passion, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love hearing Tia's story, and I when I think about kind of like how did I find my passion for doing what I'm doing today, it really started because, well, I'm not going to go to the whole backstory, but I loved working in food safety and quality. I just, I like Tia said, I love the people, I love the challenge, I love the science, I love all these parts about it. But where I kind of got hung up and felt like I was on the hamster wheel was when I was working in manufacturing. And really, it was from the burnout from that workload, middle of the night calls, working on weekends. I remember being on vacation with my family and I'd be on my computer in the car trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
And while inherently I love being committed and being part of those things, what happened was I took that message and kind of the way it came out for me was like my organization didn't value our function enough to invest. And I took that personally.
Yeah.
And because I couldn't move the needle, it started kind of whittling away at my confidence in what I was able to do and just really made me feel kind of meh at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And
Completely understand.
part of that was the story I was telling myself. In my head, that was the story like poor me, I can't make this work, or wow, why can't these folks just understand what we need? And for me, finding my passion was like breaking out of that story because
Yeah.
otherwise I was trapped. And that's when I could finally say, you know what? There's more out here. There's more possibilities. And that's where I needed to get to be able to find my passion to come here.
Yeah. I love that because a lot of us feel that way in manufacturing, right? So,
Mhm.
add in the comments, have you ever felt that way working in manufacturing, having a lot of calls in the middle of the night? I
Mhm.
remember getting a call in the middle of the night after midnight for every day for a month straight. I remember those calls, and you're right. It's because of it's the value of your function or its lack of processes. It's something where we're really not integrated enough into the organization that people can function by themselves, even when you're not there.
Mhm. Which really rolls into, so T and I outlined kind of three things that can help us kind of find your passion and kind of manage that. So the first one is really about controlling what you can. So, from what I described earlier, what that resulted in is I was trying to control everything around me. Because, right, we all know that when the questions come up, they look to the food safety quality team to say, how did that happen? Why did that happen? How do we fix it? So I focused on how do I control the policies? How do I control the programs? How do I help control what people are doing? It was exhausting and ineffective.
Yeah.
And what it turned into was kind of this playing into the blame game. Like, right? You wanted to find out who did it wrong. And, it would
Hmm.
sometimes you just wondered, like, are they just being idiots? Why can't they do it? Why don't they understand? Why are they not stepping up to own it?
Right.
And while it wasn't like that all the time, like I started noticing this pattern of kind of these not so nice thoughts always coming up. And I just really viewed it as this resistance. And, until I said, I need to stop, I cannot control what everyone else is doing. No one else is making me feel frustrated. That's me. Like, that's totally me
Yeah.
conjuring up those feelings of frustration. And so that was a huge eye opener to say, control only what I can.
Yes. And I love this one because there's a lot of times that we feel like people are controlling what we do, right? Like
Mhm.
people send us an email and say, "Hey, Jill, I need this. I need
Mhm.
this by tomorrow." Or something happens and it's like, "Oh no, there I need food safety and quality here because we messed up on something," right? And there's going to be times that that happens, but it's important to kind of think through, is it really urgent for me? Because I have
Mhm.
a lot of things going on too, right? And you are being stretched thin. If it is, then you want to prioritize it. If it's not, then you really want to set up some time to walk through that. But then also save yourself some time on the back end where you can tell them if there's a program or a process that already exists. Did you follow the process?
Mhm.
Walk me through where you messed up in the process. How do we close this gap in the process so that the next time something happens, you can push them to, did you follow that process? Is there a gap that we need to close because we still messed up? And a lot of times, if there's a process there, people are just not following it, right? I always say the process is as good as the people following it. And if they are not following it, then the thing that you can control is coaching them, reminding them, follow
Mhm.
the process, and reminding them too, this is what happens when you don't. Is because we run into a situation that everyone feels is urgent, but I also have urgent things on my plate, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
then go ahead.
well, I was saying along with that, you know how there's a saying out there, something like your emergency isn't mine. One of the things that I think is really important
Yeah.
with that control is right when you get that call, like, hey, this has been going on for 2 weeks, but we need you to fix it in the next 5 minutes or at least address
Right.
it. I don't know about you, but for me, it's natural. I have this bubble up of not so nice.
Right.
What
Yes.
I'm trying to work on for that control, what took a lot of training is to be like, you know what? I'm excited that they called. I'm excited that even though it's late in the game, they realize that we can help.
Mhm.
And so even that reframing is part of what we can control to help move that forward.
Yeah, I agree with that. And even reminding them why it's important to have food safety and quality there in
Mhm.
the beginning. So I love it that Nikita, her comment around, there's a cultural bias in the industry that food safety and quality really don't add value until there's a nonconformance. When that nonconformance happened, reminding them, if we had been involved early on in the process when you were thinking about doing this, we could have helped directed you so this problem
Mhm.
didn't happen and we didn't waste time. We didn't waste products. We didn't waste money, right? So reminding people of your value is so important. And again, that's what you can control, right? You can't
Mhm.
control that they didn't invite you to a meeting, a weekly meeting they've been having for weeks that you didn't know about, right?
Yeah.
But you can definitely control coaching them and reminding them of your value and why it's so important. And we know what the highest priority, right, is, and that's around making money, especially if they're not valuing food safety and quality. So reminding them, this is what you lose when food safety and quality is not a part of
Mhm.
initial conversations.
Yep. Well, which I think is a great segue because even when we talk about wanting to control things and helping remind people, it is still okay to want more.
Yes.
So, right, I like that concept of, right, there's some bias, but right, we often hear food safety and quality is crazy And, there's always the state of firefighting and being on call 24/7, and that like I have to push the rope constantly. And I thought that's just how food safety and quality was. And I just had to take it because I'm in this industry and that's just how it's supposed to be. But that's not true. Like, it is okay for us to want more. So even as we're thinking about the things in our control, like we can still want more and we can keep moving in that direction. And I think that's kind of opening up with the curiosity of like, how do we do something to help us move and know it's okay to want more?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I love that. And then even from another perspective, there's times in my career that I really didn't like what I was doing. Um, like for instance, I was a raw material quality engineer for a period of time, and I cannot say I was passionate about raw materials and food safety and quality around raw materials. Just wasn't a passion of mine, right? Um, and that's okay. That's okay. What
Mhm,
I did is really focus on, again, what can I control, right? I focus on what do I want to learn while I'm in this role.
mhm,
And then it's okay for me to want more for myself, or want something different for myself. So I had those conversations with my manager on, I'm not really passionate about raw materials. I really want to learn a little bit more around how food safety and quality and operations work. Or, I really like being a line lead from a food safety and quality standpoint. I really want to learn more about this or that. At the time, I really wanted to be a food safety team leader and learn about managing food safety and quality programs. So having those conversations, that's completely okay to want more and want something different than your counterparts. Have those
mhm.
conversations with your manager. Have those conversations with people that are already doing the role that you may want to do. And then I always tell people, I have a friend that really wanted to go into, it's actually in HR. She really wanted to be a recruiter. Now she has a recruiter job and she's like, T, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I thought I was going to be passionate about it. And I told her the same thing. That's completely okay. It's okay that you got into the
It's
role.
okay to want more, right?
Exactly. Learn what you can while you're there because that's a function of HR, right? Raw materials is a function of food safety and quality.
Mhm.
Learn while you're there and continue to talk with your manager or continue to explore other options and what's next for you and what you may want to try.
Mhm. Well, I think of it just from our human side, right? When we're in a spot where we're not loving it, it doesn't mean that okay, when I was in a role that I didn't really love, I wasn't slacking, but I also wasn't fully stepping into my power.
Right.
And so if
Yeah.
I'm not fully in that power where I'm feeling like things are working, I'm liking it, I'm bringing value to others, then sometimes even if I'm not aware of it, I'm not also 100% contributing what I can.
Right.
And
Yes.
so I think when we think about wanting more, it's really about, and it's really okay because wanting more means we're stepping into the space where we are able to contribute more. And that in itself is amazing. That's the whole better together that we talk about and how do we move things forward.
Absolutely. And it's also for the people that are out there that manages others. Think about exactly what Jill said. If you have a person on your team that's not working in their passion,
Mhm.
or really what they're great at, they're really not contributing 100% because
No.
they don't like the role, right? So your role as a manager is really to figure out where your team's strengths lies and how to put them in those opportunities. And if they have a growth area, right, being open and transparent that, hey, you're in this role because this is a blind spot for you. And I know you want to get to X spot in the future. You need to understand this part of the organization to get there.
Mhm.
That puts a little bit of passion behind them because they know the outcome. They understand what they're supposed to get from the role. So now they've increased their contribution because
Mhm.
they know they need to do this in order to get to their ultimate passion, and the ultimate step that they want to get to.
Well, and that as a leader, you've got buy-in. So it's not just I need to fill this role and have someone do it. Like I care about you as a human. I care about what like fills you up and brings you happiness so that I can help you move there.
Right.
'Cause
Absolutely.
You may not
Absolutely.
have realized this, Tia, but that leads right into the next one, which is your circle of people. Like,
Yes.
make a circle of people that help guide you and tell you what it is and advocate for you. My favorite Brene Brown quote is, "We don't have to do it alone. We were never meant to." So
Yeah.
think about, who is your champion that can help you find your passion? Who helps you dream about what else is out there that you could want more of? Who lets you cry on their shoulder? But like, who also kicks you in the tush to say, like, come on, you need to get it in gear and start doing what you need to be doing.
Yes. I love this one because this is one of the most impactful ones, at least for me. As I was thinking about my passion and what I want to do, past my
Mhm.
1 to 3 years of my career, I really use my mentors, I use my
Mhm.
managers, I use people that, again, that were already in the roles to really understand what it is that I want to gain from my career, what kind of skills do I want to build? What type of leadership skills do I want to build to get to my passion by talking to different people? And for me, my circle included coworkers, like I said, managers, mentors in and out of food safety and quality. If you joined us for our webinar kickoff, we talked about the 5 mentors you need in your
Mhm.
life. I'll link it in the comments after the live. But I think that's so important because having different people in your circle to give you those different perspectives, someone that you can vent to, someone that is going to be there from a technical standpoint, someone that's already there. Those are great people to kind of bounce ideas off of, steer you in the right direction, but help you create that plan on getting to your passion or even staying in your passion, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, people want you to move up and around and see different things. And you're like, I'm really passionate about the work that I do now. How do I stop people from trying to get me to move on to something that I don't want to do? Talk
Mhm.
to those technical experts. Talk to people that are in your role that you want to stay in, and learn what those tricks are, because those are the people that's going to have your back.
Mhm. Well, and it's, once again, we don't have to do it alone. So, even when I started the food safety coach, I chuckled because I had talked about this concept for a long time. And I luckily had someone in my circle of support who finally said, "When are you doing this? Like, I need you to give me a date." Because they knew me well enough that I would get to it, but I also, because it was new and that uncertainty, right? Those are the things that hold us back sometimes from going where we need to go or where we want to go. That person helped me get past that by being like, "That's great, dude. Give me a date or you need to stop talking about it."
Hmm.
And it
Yeah.
was a good wake up call from someone that I knew was here for my best interests to say, "I believe in you and I know you need to move forward. So, what are you up to?"
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so important. And for the people that's listening, we really like this topic for Real Talk Food Safety
Mhm.
because people don't think about this side of food safety and quality. They
Mm-mm.
only think about technical skills or, hey, I need a HACCP plan, I need an allergen control plan. But really, in order to be successful in food safety and quality and to integrate it into your business, you have to be able to identify passions. You have to
Mhm.
be able to work in your passion. You have to be able to do what we traditionally call soft skills to
Mhm.
be able to influence across the aisle, in other functions. And so this is something that as we think about, with Catalyst, our business Catalyst is that if we just focus on technical skills, we're not going to get to the food safety and quality culture that we need. We're not going to get
Mm.
to that gold standard. You have to look at technical and leadership skills, how you're influencing, how you're communicating with others, how are you building these passions of your teammates and your team members. That is so important, and it's a huge part of food safety and quality culture that people really don't talk that much about. But we're here. We're here talking about it,
Mhm.
and we're here going to talk about technical and leadership skills every
Mhm.
Wednesday at noon. So we're
Mhm.
super excited about it.
Well, and Tia, I like that you talk about the passion with people because, right, even as we start thinking about like what is it that lights me up and where do I want to go, Remember, we get these messages from the universe like, do you really want to go there? So we get a challenge, or we might get some resistance to say, yep, I need to work through this. Because it's a really great time to go, what am I supposed to learn here? Like if I'm having a challenge or it feels like something's in the way, where do I need to go to help move past that? Is it that I need to control what I can? Is it that it's okay that I want more and I'm going to get past this? Is it maybe there's somebody in my circle of support that can help me and provide some insights on this? So we're not alone in this at all.
Yeah, I agree. And you're right. Default is usually the technical skills, and it's insufficient. It is insufficient. You have to think about those leadership skills, those quote unquote soft skills,
Mhm.
and then making sure that you really are within your passion. And if you're struggling with that, right, like this live is for you,
Mhm.
because of those three things. So I love
Yeah.
it.
Awesome. Well, hey, I know we're kind of nearing the end. I'm going to put up our email, hello@foodsafetykatalyst.com. So if you're interested in connecting more and talking and continuing this conversation, right? We're geeks over this. It's our passion. Reach on out. We are always happy to help people move forward in what it is that they are dreaming about and where they really want to go next.
Yeah. And how do you incorporate those passions into your broader food safety and quality culture and in strategy? We're here to help you. And so shoot us an email. Let us know what you're thinking. We're definitely here to help in any way. If you have any topic suggestions, also email us, because we want to talk about what's happening in the industry. We have a great lineup for the next few weeks. So we're super excited about it. And we're so happy that you joined us.
Very much. So, thank you for being here with us again this week. We appreciate you and we look forward to doing it next week with you again.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.